For our nighttime stretch, we're going to begin in a comfortable seated position. So that's a gentle crossing of the legs. You can either bring one shin in front of the other, or for a little bit more of an opening, you can take the knees wide, stacking one heel in front of the other with a really firm point to the toes. And from here we ground down into our sit bones. We lengthen up through our torso, bringing the shoulder blades together on the back and down towards the hips, opening up across the chest, and we lengthen up through the crown of the head. Stacking the head over the heart, over the hips, shoulder blades down and away from the ears, let them soften. You can bring the palms to the knees face down or palms face up, whichever feels best for you today. And once you've found your comfortable seat, we'll close down the eyes, turning the focus inward, settling in, letting everything else go, and giving yourself, your body, your breath and your mat your full attention. I invite you to take a full body scan, beginning at the crown of the head, making your way down to the tips of the toes, noticing and observing the body. Noticing the areas that may be gripping or holding. Observing the parts that feel open, soft and supple. Not having to attach any judgments or any emotions to anything you find. Just taking on the role of the observer in order to get to know your body better. How does your body feel in this moment in time? Scanning up and down, taking everything in. We're going to begin now to turn our focus towards the breath, noticing the natural rhythm of the breath, the effortless way the breath flows in and out. Inhaling in, exhaling out. Inhale, softly exhale. Inhale to fill up. Exhale to soften. Inhaling in energy to the body. Exhaling, a wave of relaxation covers your whole body. Taking a few more breaths like that here to begin. Inhaling in deeply, exhaling out softly. Keep lengthening up through the crown of the head and keep drawing the shoulders down towards the hips. Taking 5 more deep full breaths here. Letting everything else go and giving this moment and your breath your full attention. Take 2 more breaths. Now begin to gently flutter the eyelids open, keeping the gaze low and soft. And from here we're going to make our way onto our all fours. So for our all fours, we're going to bring the hands underneath the shoulders, spreading the fingertips really wide here. So hands under the shoulders, eyes of the elbows face in towards one another, and we broaden across the upper back, retracting the head, creating as much space between your face and the mat as possible, and shining the back of your neck up towards the sky. We bring the knees underneath the hips and press firmly into the tops of the feet. And from here we make our way into our cat-cows. So we inhale to tilt the tailbone up, pull the chest through, bring the gaze through. We exhale to tuck the tailbone round the spine, gaze back towards the thighs. Inhale, the sit bones lift, our chest comes through, gaze through. Exhale, tuck the tailbone round the spine, gaze towards the thighs. Now you can close the eyes, match movement to breath. Inhale to open up the chest. Exhale to round the back body, pulling the shoulder blades apart. Inhale, beginning with the tailbone, ending with the head, push the mat away. Exhale to round, gaze towards the thighs. Keep going like this, match movement to breath, taking a few rounds on your own, letting your breath be your guide. Bringing a nice little bit of movement and fluidity into our backs. Take 2 more. Inhaling to open. Exhale to round. Last one. Now the next time you inhale, we'll return to our tabletop. And then from here, we take the knees out wide to about mat's width distance apart. We bring the big toes into touch and we send the sit bones back towards the heels. From here, making our way into our child's pose. So we take the arms out in front of us, walking them towards the top edge of the mat. We're sending our sit bones and our tailbone back towards the heels. And we're melting down with the forehead and with the chest to the mat. Now from here, you want to try to wrap the triceps in and underneath. So keep broadening across the upper back. Melting down with the torso, with the forehead. And now inhale to send your breath into the back of the body. Filling up the back of the body. And then we exhale to see if you can get the sit bones slightly further towards the heels. We'll settle in here for 5 rounds of breath. Full deep inhales in. Slow, syrupy exhales out. If you want to increase the stretch in the sides of the waist, claw into the finger pads, pulling the chest through that little bit more to increase that stretch from the tips of the fingers right down into that hip crease. Take 2 more breaths here. Last breath. Now the next time you inhale, press into the palms, rise up, leading with the back of the head, bringing the hands back under the shoulders, pressing into the tops of the feet to bring the knees back underneath the hips. And from here, we're going to set ourselves up into our running deer posture. So we're going to bring the left leg towards the front of the mat and we take the right leg back behind us. So this takes a little bit of a setup for our running deer, but once we have it on one side, it becomes quite easy to then move on to the second side. So with that left leg out in front of us, we're going to line up our left glute and our left femur with the long edge of the mat. We then create a strong 90-degree angle in that front leg, lining up the left shin with the short edge of the mat, bringing a really firm flex into that front foot. And now with that back leg, strong 90-degree angle in that back knee, lining up that right femur with the short edge of the mat, and lining up that right shin with the long edge of the mat. Firm flex in that back foot. And now from here, we take that left hand just out towards the side of that left glute, and we bring the right hand onto that left ankle, bringing the right hip through towards the front and settling into that left glute. So the right hip towards the front, settling into the left glute, keeping the torso into the inside framework of the legs. And from here, we lengthen up through the sternum, creating that really nice, tall, proud spine. Inhaling here. And exhale, lead with the sternum, fold down about halfway. Inhale, leading with the back of the head, rising back up. Exhale, coming down halfway, leading with the sternum. We'll take a couple more like that. Inhaling back to center. Exhaling, melting down halfway. Keep moving like that. So with this slow, dynamic movement, we're just gently opening up into the stretch. Being kind and patient to the body. Now the next time you exhale, we're going to come down as far as we can go. So for some, that might mean just coming onto the forearms, bringing them in front of that left shin. If you're really open in the hips, you might like to extend the arms out in front, melting down with the torso. But being careful that when you melt down, to not round the spine, keep leading with the sternum to then fold yourself down. This might be a nice place if you have a pillow or a cushion at home. You can place that in front of that front shin to just bring the floor up to you a little bit. Now whenever you can find a place of stillness, we keep bringing that right hip through to the front, and we pause here for 5 full deep breaths. Inhaling in. Exhale into softness. Inhale. Exhale. Closing down the eyes, seeing intently and feeling intently how this feels in the body. Keep taking the shoulder blades down towards the hips, lengthening through the torso. Exhale to soften. 2 more breaths. Last breath here. Now the next time you inhale, bring the palms to the mat, rise up slowly, leading with the back of the head. Pausing for 1 breath in center, inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Now a quite easy way to get us onto our second side is to simply just tick-tock the knees. So we're going to take the knees now towards the back edge of the mat, and hopefully you may have landed pretty much set up for that right side. So now we have the right femur and the right glute running parallel to the long edge, and the left shin running parallel to the long edge. Now for this second side, we bring the left hip through to the front. We place the right hand just outside of that right glute, and we bring the left hand to that right ankle. Now keep bringing that left hip through to the front, going to those soft, supple, dynamic movements. Inhaling, leading up with the crown of the head. Exhale, leading with the sternum, fold down about halfway. Inhale, the back of the head takes us back to center. Exhale, we melt down halfway. 2 more like that. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, fold down. Last flow, inhaling up. Exhale to come down the whole way now. Stopping where you have found your edge. So find your edge and just play there. So you might like to bring the forearms down on towards the mat in front of that right shin, or extending the arms out long in front of you and melting the torso down. Pausing here for 5 full rounds of breath. Keep flexing firmly through the toes, bringing the left hip through to the front, settling into the right glute. Slowing down the breath, slowing down the body. Preparing ourselves for sleep and letting the day, the worries of the day, just simply melt away. Take 3 more breaths. I invite you at any point during this practice to close the eyes for as much as you can to really focus on the sensations in the body. 1 more breath. Inhale, rise up, leading with the back of the head. A breath in through the nose in center, out through the mouth in center. Now from here, tick-tock the knees a couple of times towards the front of the mat, towards the back of the mat, giving the glutes a little bit of a massage. 1 more time. Now from here, we're going to come to find ourselves lying flat on our backs. So coming onto the backs, take the legs out long, extend the arms up overhead, full body stretch, point the toes, become as tall as possible. Exhale, soften, let it all go. 1 more like that. Inhale, tall. Exhale, let it go. Now from here we're going to bring the soles of the feet to the mat so we can then bring the knees in towards the chest. So press firmly into the space behind the eyes on the back of the head, drawing the shoulder blades together and down towards the hips and pressing into the sacrum, that big flat bone at the bottom of our spine. Interlacing the fingers around the shins, drawing the knees in towards the chest. You can take a gentle sway from side to side, massaging and releasing through the lower back. You can take some small circles, going towards the right first, then reversing the circles to the left, giving the body a little bit of a hug, some nice gentle movement. Now from here, keep that right knee in towards the chest, extend that left leg long, let it melt into the mat. Now from here, bringing that right knee a little bit closer in towards the chest. Taking that right knee out towards the right shoulder. Bringing it back into center. Back out again. Into center. You might like to take some circles with this right knee going towards the right first. Then towards the left. Just getting a little bit of juice going in that hip, that deep hip socket. You might like to point and flex the toes. Playing with organic movement here. What feels really good on this right side? Take 1 more breath here. Now we're going to move on to the second side. So we extend the right leg long. We bring that left knee in towards the chest, melting the right leg down to the mat. Same thing we did on the first side. Take that left knee out towards the left shoulder. Back into center. Out towards the shoulder. Bringing it back in. Taking those small circles towards the right. And towards the left. Keep pressing firmly into the back of the head, the shoulders, the sacrum. One more breath. One more full body stretch. Extend the arms up overhead. Point the toes. Exhale, soften. Bring the soles of the feet towards the mat. So with the soles of the feet on the mat and the feet about hips width distance apart, we press firmly into those 3 contact points. And then from here, we cross the right ankle over the top of the left knee. A really firm flex to those right toes, bringing them back towards that right knee and gently sending that right knee down towards the bottom edge of the mat. You can take a couple breaths here in this figure 4 shape, allowing this frame to settle into the body. And whenever you feel ready, and if you want to, you can interlace the fingers behind that left thigh and gently draw the left knee in towards the chest. Keep flexing the toes, keep pushing the knee away, and checking back in with the back of the head, the shoulders and the sacrum, pressing firmly in there. You can let that bottom part of that left leg just hang heavy, settling in for 5 breaths here, opening up through the glutes, relaxing the piriformis muscle, muscle that can get quite tight, that can lead to some lower back pain. Close the eyes. Turn in towards the body. 5 breaths. Being patient with the body, allowing the stretch and the posture to reveal itself to you. And with the eyes closed, we help to let go a little bit of the ego, caring less about how the posture looks and focusing more on how it feels. 2 more breaths. And we'll sneak in 1 cheeky extra breath. Now beginning to lower down with the sole of that left foot. Gently following by the right. Pausing in center, take that breath in through the nose, exhale out the mouth. Second side now. That left ankle crosses over the top of the right knee. We have... I got confused about what side we're on then. Getting a little bit too relaxed, guys. Sorry. So, we are going to flex the left toes, bringing them back towards the left knee. We gently push the left knee away to the bottom edge of the mat. Pausing here for a moment or 2 like we did on that first side. And then whenever you feel ready, we can interlace the fingers behind the right thigh and gently draw that right knee in towards the chest. Remembering to check in with the 3 contact points of the back. Settling in, 5 full breaths. Close the eyes. Letting your breath be your guide. Three more breaths here. Keep breathing deeply, 2 more. Last breath, fill up on the inhale. Soften on the exhale. Releasing the right sole of the foot to the mat, followed by the left. Inhale through the nose, exhale out the mouth. Now from here, with the soles of the feet on the mat, just take the legs together with the knees still facing up towards the ceiling. We're going to extend the arms out at shoulder height, palms up towards the sky. And on our next inhale, we'll press firmly into the soles of the feet, lifting up with the hips just ever so slightly. So we can then come onto the outside of the right hip, letting the knees gently fall over towards the right side. And here, you might need to shimmy a couple of times, stacking the hips one on top of the other. That helps to keep our lower back safe. And with the arms, you can either take that right hand and place it on top of the left leg, adding a little bit of extra weight there, and keeping that left arm extended out towards the left. Melting the left shoulder down into the mat and sending the body in two opposing directions here. If it feels comfortable for the neck, you can lift the head and turn the head towards the left, changing the gaze. Close the eyes, 5 breaths. Opening up through the chest, through the pec, through the shoulders. And giving our internal organs a nice little massage. Three more breaths here. Two more. Last one. Now if you took the gaze over towards the left, bring the gaze back to center, and then followed by the knees. Realign and readjust yourself to be in center, pausing for a breath, and then moving on to the second side, pressing into the soles of the feet, lifting up the hips, this time to come onto the outside of the left hip, letting the knees fall out towards the left and stacking the hips one on top of the other. Extending through the right wing, melting the right shoulder down towards the mat now. Taking that left hand, adding it to the top of the right leg, little bit of extra weight there. And if you did so on the first side, lift up the head, take the gaze towards the right and settle in. 5 breaths here in our detoxifying supine twist. Feeling yourself becoming heavy into the mat. Body softening. Mind quietening down. Close the eyes. We'll take 2 more breaths here. Last one. Inhale now to bring the gaze to center. Bring the knees back into center and realign. Pausing for a breath. Now from here we're going to take the soles of the feet together. Let the knees fall out open wide like an opening of a book. You can take both hands to the belly here. Close the eyes. Opening up through the inner thigh, through the groinal area. opening up the chest. And with the hands on the belly, feel that effortless rise and the gentle fall of the breath underneath the hands. Softening into a place of stillness. Sinking your weight into the earth beneath you. Letting go, surrendering. Letting a wave of relaxation wash over your whole body. Listening to the breath's natural rhythm. Now you have a couple of options here. You can stay in our Supta Baddha Konasana, so our reclined bound angle pose. Feeling free to linger in this pose for as long as feels best for you. Or you can take the legs out long, coming into our Shavasana, so taking the feet wide to about mat's width distance. Letting the knees gently fall out, letting the feet gently fall out to the side. You can either keep the hands on the belly or take the hands away from the body, palms face up. Taking that full body scan that we did at the start. And this time soften and surrender every muscle in the body into the mat beneath you. There's nothing left to control. There's nothing left to do. But be present in this moment. Relaxed, calm, peaceful. Feeling free to stay here for as long as you like. And if you are ready, you can press stop on this video and go about the rest of your day. Thank you very much for joining me. Please feel free to stay in your Shavasana for as long as you want. Until next time, Namaste.